sound of motorcycles running in the morning. Been washing the bolt. I'll just switch that off. And the KTM. Lovely KTM. So, I was going to talk about a KTM, give you a bit of a review to ask you whether it was worth buying or not and what I think of it. Well, what can I say? KTM 1290, super adventure. It is a super bike. It goes like a rocket, it really does. It's like a sports bike which has been blown up in size. It's quite a high bike if you're short in the leg, but not overly high. Super adventure sport's got the alloy wheels, so you can go off-road with it. I've been along tracks and things, but I wouldn't take it real rough off-roading. Delkovic pipe, which makes a big difference on it. I've got my shad box on the back. And what extra have I put on? I put these crash bars on, black ones. I put a set of spotlights on the front. Spotlights make all the difference. Heated grips, they're the actual KTM ones. I put them on myself. I've got a video showing how to do it. If you're unsure, I'll just switch the electrics off. This is an absolutely fantastic bike. It really is. Riding it is something else. I mean, it is so quick. It goes anywhere. Nothing holds it back. I've tried other bikes, you know, BMWs and things. Nothing compares to riding with a KTM. But it does have its faults. So, while the KTM's a fantastic bike, and I do mean a fantastic bike to ride, it does have its faults, and I'll show you what the biggest problem is the electrics. Two things I've noticed with this: if you flick that starter, just a quick flick, the bike will turn over and start, but it doesn't always. And if you give it a quick flick and it doesn't start, it throws up codes on the screen, and then once it throws up codes on the screen, it seems to mess up the whole system. And this happens just because you flick it to start it, or because the battery's flat. So I always advise, when you want to start it, put your ignition on, let it run through its sequence. As you see, I've got my Garmin sat nav on there. Let it run through its sequence, and then once it's ready, instead of a quick flick on the starter, actually press it till it starts. And starts first time every time, but doing a quick flick on it won't every time. It won't start it every time, but now and again it will. But if it doesn't start properly, it throws up the error codes. You get general fault, you get MTC fault, you get all sorts of faults, and then sometimes the bike will run rough. And also the battery. The battery is a bit strange because it runs the bike. It's 230 cranking amps. I'll show you what I put in. Just bear with me for a second till I find my keys. I had this problem with the battery. I'll just put it in for a second. So I had a problem with the battery where it wasn't starting, and what I found it was, Jesus, the seat will lift up. There we go. And what it was the battery kept just falling short of full charge. These things do use a bit of power. But what I did was I put one of these Millennium batteries. It's the same battery code, but it's a gel battery, and that's made all the difference, and I'll explain why. I'll just show you the original battery. This is it, YTZ14S. So when you go for a gel battery, get the same code. Now, as you'll see in this one, 230 cca, that's 230 cold cranking amps and 11.8 amps. The gel one is 320 cranking amps. Now, cranking amps means how much power does it put to your starter when it's cranking it over. So because the gel one's higher, it turns the engine over quicker and easier, and it doesn't sort of misfire, you know, miss start. It starts every time. And this is 11.8 amps. I think it's 12 amps, I can't remember. But yeah, so a gel battery has cured the problems that I've had starting the bike, and it was worth the investment. It was only about $105 out of AMX warehouse, and yeah, I've not had any more faults. The bike has been plagued with faults. I've had all sorts of faults coming up, everything from no key detected to general failures to, I think I've had every failure going, and it all seems to be around the power from the battery. The batteries are shit, they don't last. And what else with these bikes is there's so many electrics, you know, you've got so many different things on there that it slowly drains the power out the battery. And although it would probably take, you know, a week or two, if the bike sat for a week or two, it probably wouldn't start because of the small drain on the battery with all the electric features. So it pays to put one of these trickle chargers on. You know, you put the cable onto your battery and it dangles out the side, and you can plug a charger and just leave it there. One of these smart chargers keeps your battery fully topped up. But to be honest, the gel battery is the way to go. So apart from that, the bike's a fantastic bike to ride. It goes anywhere. But is it the right bike for me? Well, I've tried all different bikes. I've had sport bikes and everything, cruisers. Must admit my favourite was the Yamaha MT-01. I loved that bike. And the Boulevard Cruiser, yep, second on the list. And I think as I'm getting older, it's much easier on a cruiser. These KTMs are fantastic, but they're a high bike, you know, jumping on and off and things like that. Very, very high bike. But is it the right bike for me? Well, although I love riding the KTM and now it's reliable, thank goodness, I do miss my cruiser. I've got a Yamaha Bolt here. It's a great wee bike. It's actually my wife's. Bought it for her. She doesn't use it very often. It's 2014 model, and it's only done about 5,000 k's, and I think I've put about 3,000 on. My wife's put about 2,000, so it's hardly been used. And it is a great wee bike, 950cc. The only thing is, because of the type of bike it is, and because the pegs are back a bit and it's low to the ground, I feel my legs a wee bit cramped. But that's because the suspension's dropped a wee bit because my wife's got short legs. If I was to bump it up a little bit, it would feel better. But yeah, it's a good bike. But so is the KTM 1290, I wouldn't be put off it. The electrical problems at the start with this bike just put me completely off it. Twice I nearly got rid of it and bought something else, but I persevered. Now I seem to have it sorted with the gel battery. I'd advise anybody to get one. There's all different types of batteries, but gel's the best. It lasts longer, it doesn't lose its charges quick as the acid ones. There's also the, is it the LED, LCD? No, what is it you call it? I forget the other name of it, which are reasonably good, but they lose their charge quick. But gel's the way to go. But the KTM 1290, fantastic bike, but I really don't think it's my sort of bike. So maybe in the next 6 months to a year, I might trade it in and get something else. Obviously when I get something else I'll get another cruiser, and it won't be chain driven. I'm over that already. I'll probably be belt driven or shaft driven. I like the Yamaha cruisers. I think Yamaha cruisers are fantastic. Similar to the Bolt, this thing's belt driven. So you don't have to worry about it really. You get to 100,000 Ks, check the belt. And if it's knackered, replace it, and if it's okay, just adjust it. So yeah, if I get another cruiser, it'll either be belt driven, shaft driven. I've already been looking at some, but I don't know what to get. I was looking at the BMW R18. That's a strange bike. Might get that, don't know. I'll just have to see how it goes. Anyway, so that's my sort of update on the KTM. Is the KTM a bike I would advise people to get? If you sort the battery problem out and put a gel in it, yeah, I would go for it. But if you're a cruiser rider and you want to change to something like that, I don't know. I'm more of a cruiser rider, I must admit. I like the easy cruising on the road. The idea of the KTM was to do a wee bit off-roading, you know. Not a lot, but just tracks and things. But I never got round to that, Probably because I'm getting older and I break my bones easier. So yeah. So anyway, watch this space and we'll see what we get soon. I'll see you later.